Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
It's not enough. People are willing to take the risk. It's sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Break my heart, and you're gonna 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 break my heart, you're gonna break my heart, you're gonna break my heart, you're gonna leave me. You're gonna leave me. You're gonna leave me. You're gonna
Friends, the time for mediocrity in broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock. With me, as always, is my occasional semi-regular co-host, Mr. George Garner. George, good evening.
Good evening. I'll tell you, this is starting to become more semi-regular.
Well, the secret is I called up your job and told them you weren't available on Sundays. So.
Well, thank you. That's what happened.
And since that industry doesn't pay time and a half for some godforsaken reason, I mean,
I'm not worth
you're
it.
You're not missing out on much. We kicked things off this week on the Tony Jones Show with a little Feng Shui police. And the reason we kicked things off a little Feng Shui police is because congratulations are in order. First of all, you can check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Feng Shui is Real. And they are the latest, following in a great lineage of bands. They are the latest, greatest winners of the 90.7 WXIN Rhode Island College Rock Hunt.
Woohoo!
They took down the crown this year, as we did in 2013. If you can believe, George, it was that long ago.
Wow. Now, apparently, the XIN Rock Hunt doesn't have that curse attached to it, right?
No, I think what I've seen from the XIN Rock Hunt is bands go forward and actually take their prize money like we did. We used it to record Midnight Mass. They take their prize money and they move forward with it. Now, the other big rock hunt in town, there is a curse. We've talked about it before, but not in a while. There's a curse attached. It seems like a lot of bands win and then implode or explode.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just making the clarification clear. Don't worry about this band disappearing tomorrow, because they are not, they have not partaken of the cursed rock hunt. They are not among the cursed of. And if you really think about the cursed of local music, speaking of a great lineage, there's a lot right there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that other station that is cursed, I think they brought it on themselves. Actually, personally. Well, I mean, this dovetails perfectly, because in a story in a little bit, we're going to talk about, speaking of cursed, it involves music. It is worthy of George Garner's Haunted Cabaret. We'll talk about it. It involves a singer, and it involves a cobra used as a stage prop. If you haven't heard about this yet, this is a real person, and it's all caught on tape. So used to be a real person. I hate to make fun. However, it's interesting. So we're going to talk about that in a bit. We got a bunch of events coming up to talk about, including the Motif Music Awards, which Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, myself, our own DJ Psycho Eddie, all up for awards. We'll find out Tuesday night if we take home the gold, and I believe it's not gold. I believe it's plastic that they hand out. So we'll find out on Tuesday. It's yellow. We'll find out on Tuesday if we're taking home the plastic. We'll talk about that in a bit. And, we got to talk, if you're catching us live, we got to talk about the event that's going to be happening tonight. You can listen to us, and then you can make it down there. It's at Firehouse 13, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, and the debut of Wolfman Chuck and the Brimstone Boys, opening up from the ex-Misfits lead singer, Michael Graves. That's going to be tonight at Firehouse 13, and I hope you can make it out. Come early, stay late. I will be down there all night tonight, so come on down, hang out with us. I'll buy you a beer, a Narragansett beer, because it's cheap. And then one other thing I want to talk about in just a little bit is a career change, and a career that I just found out existed. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. George, you're going to be very interested in this. It involves Mr. Trump. Looking forward to it. But before we get to that, we're going to hear from the aforementioned Michael Graves, performing tonight at Firehouse 13 off of Night of Sam Hain. Here's Scarecrow right here on The Tony Jones Show.
Circled by a field of corn, my skin was torn apart by numerous crows. I've been sleeping way too long, this night will wake me up and I will return. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. My hunger is meant to kill. No one can escape from me. Circled by a field of corn, my skin was torn apart by numerous crows. I've been sleeping way too long, this night will wake me up and circled by a field of corn. I was surrounded by the slaughterhouse crows. I've been sleeping way too long. This night will wake me up and I will return.
Rehab Corporation, Basilsaurus, the name of that one. Then before that, we heard a little Michael Graves off of Night of Sam Hain, Scarecrow. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Be sure to check out rifreeradio.org and tonyjones.org for all your webutainment needs. As I mentioned, we're working on turning rhodeislandfreeradio.org into a full-blown media outlet. So I've been out covering events. We have some great blog content up there. Your events listings are up there. You can go to My Night Out RI and link over to their events listings. So, I mean, you don't have to go anywhere except for rhodeislandfreeradio.org. You can get it on your cell phone. To us, George, now have a smart TV. Listen to RI Free Radio on your television now.
Right now, do we still need to make that distinction between rhodeislandradio.org and .com? Are people still being misled by that?
I think some people are going to the .com. Now, I tried to buy up the .com, rifreeradio.com, in order to hedge that situation.
But your arms were too short.
They want I had some alligator arms when I saw the price tag of like $2,000 for the website. So we'll be sticking with the .org for now. But I would like to grab that .com. Hopefully, maybe point in the future, or because
that would be big. Because people are telling that is a lot of distraction.
Yeah. Yep. And we've had our own DJ Psycho Eddie go on a major promotion and put rifreeradio.com. So it's happening everywhere.
It has happened. I do want to apologize. However, just to make it up, I did some research because I started getting away from the cable TV and started going into the streaming video TV. I went with the Fire Stick versus the Roku and Spreaker, where we have all of yours, mine, and pretty much all of our free radio's archives. You have a direct link right into Spreaker. Not to mention, you can still go with the live content that we're doing now, and you can still listen to that on the smart TV as well. Which
we are pretty much out into every streaming opportunity. So if you get on one of these things, like TuneIn or like Shoutcast, you're not sure how to find us. If you go to the search option, just type in RI Free Radio, we pop right up, and you can listen anytime.
Okay, so that kind of defeats that problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's how I found, one of my favorite over-the-air type guys is Don Imus, who I've been listening to since I was maybe 10 years old, and he was taken off the air here locally. So now I listen to him through my smart TV in the morning because he's not broadcasted in my radio area, which is great. I mean, it's like I said, I've been listening to him since I was 10 friggin' years old. And unfortunately, there's probably not going to be that many more years left for me to listen to Mr. Imus, so I got to get it in now. Now, I want to talk about this story in a very gentle manner because, unfortunately, this is a true story.
You're about to talk about a woman and a cobra in a gentle manner.
29-year-old woman, after her first song, she accidentally stood on the cobra. Now, this is part of her act that has been going on.
Female vocalist.
For a while. Yep, female, almost like a pop-style vocalist. She accidentally kneeled on the cobra. The cobra bit her on her thigh. And speaking about the ultimate, the show must go on, she kept performing for 45 minutes, and the witnesses say she actually turned down the venom antidote from the snake handler so she could continue the show.
Okay, we just descended from trooper into stupid. First of all, comment number one. Even on the Haunted Cabaret, we use devenomed snakes. From time immemorial, sideshows have used devenomed cobras.
There was a snake handler there. The snake handler had the anti-venom, but she just kept dancing and singing. Now, if you want to see the gruesome details, there is a video up of her performance on YouTube and on some of the other news outlets with the warning that it is distressing content. But I mean, just the fact that she kept going.
Like I say, I was going to admire that until you told me about the snake venom.
Right, because I mean, this could
anti-venom, I should say.
This could kick off a career. I mean, if someone got bit, finished the show, and then got to the hospital, got the venom out, and survived. I mean, just imagine the billing on that. That would lead to a world tour.
All right, now, my second question is how did the snake react? Did the snake get nauseous at all from biting this woman? Or because keep in mind that our performers and entertainers and celebrities are often filled with opiates.
Right.
A la Prince and so on. Yep. I mean, so I hope the snake didn't ingest any, harmful narcotics biting this woman.
And the thing is, like I said, it wasn't her first time. Throughout the course of her career, she's danced with pythons and boa constrictors as part of her act.
Okay, those are not venomous.
No, and this is
obviously she tried to upscale the act and not so much.
It almost seems like a freak accident. She just. You can't really blame the snake. The snake got stepped on.
You get stepped on, yeah. I mean,
it's kind of shades of Siegfried and Roy years ago.
Eve and the serpent.
I have to ask, number one, what would possess anyone to want to bring a snake in? I will be perfectly honest with you. I absolutely hate snakes.
Yeah, but most of us love them.
That's fine. As long as you keep them away from me, I'm fine with that. Number two, you're working with a poisonous snake and you turn down the venom. We should not even be perpetuating this much stupidity.
We're not. She's dead.
Well, obviously she's not perpetuating.
Yeah, she's not perpetuating anything.
Story, later on, as things twist, how the grapevine works, she will become some type of anti-snake martyr.
No. Sorry, I'll interrupt you, Eddie. No. She is an idiot, and she will remain an idiot.
We're saying that now. You know how things get twisted.
Right.
And I'm not joking.
No. I know what you're saying. She's going to be like in the next Conan the Barbarian movie, like Queen of the Snake Cult or something.
Exactly. And I just, like I said, absolutely do not like snakes. I see a little garden snake. If it's any bigger than a worm, I'm going after it with the weed whacker or shovel. There is nothing that.
Okay, you have just destroyed your karma for the next 3 lifetimes.
That's fine. As long as the snakes stay the heck away from me,
yeah.
I'm good with that.
No, but as far as working with a venomous snake, seriously, I mean, as a person who's kept reptiles in the past, like I say, sideshows have often employed snakes. I mean, everybody from gypsy caravans to Alice Cooper have employed snakes in their act.
Even our favorite former watering hole, the Safari Lounge.
Yeah, it was a non-poisonous snake.
Nobody was injured.
No, I mean, we all know. I mean, this Eddie, rest assured, this woman will go down on the books as a moron.
Now, you have to remember, this was Indonesia.
Oh, it was Indonesia. You left that out.
Yep.
Okay.
Now it just gets better. It was probably a household pet at this point.
Yeah. She probably didn't bring the snake with her. It was already in the audience.
Well, no, you left out Indonesia.
Excuse me, does anyone have a snake? Yes, sir, you. No, just one. Thank you.
No, zip up your fly.
And, of course, we have to let everybody know that no snakes were harmed in this broadcast of the Tony Jones Show.
The tail was bruised.
Yeah, the snake survived, and she didn't.
Right.
We're going to go back down to the local music now. We'll talk about this career option for everybody in just a little bit. But before that, we're going to hear from Pals. Here's Reach right here on the Tony Jones Show.
Feels like I can breathe. I'm choked up, no words to say. isn't it, people? And all you folks out there not want to live your life to the fullest, thinking about tomorrow, I do not envy you at all. There's a little sun in the sky telling us not to lie. Her touch is gonna bring me to my knees. There is magic on the street I live. Her touch and the love in her eyes. Oh, I feel it's alright as soon as she comes alive. Take another trip and do it all again now. Take another chance on the day that we borrow. Give another kiss, yeah, I need it now. Let your mother's love penetrate your sound. Let your mother's love penetrate your sound. I can see it in your eyes. In your eyes. I will take you down to the kitchen of love. Take you to the kitchen of love. Take you to the kitchen of love. Take you to the kitchen of love. I will take you down to the kitchen of love. To the kitchen of love. Well, she came from the skies high. Let's all get higher. Come on. Let me see you, let me touch your face, let me kiss you, let me love your embrace, let me hold you, till the day that I die, let me kiss you, till my lips get dry. That's cause he's two-faced like a snake on the grasses, make the snake go natural. I will take you down to the kitchen of love. Take you 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 to the kitchen of love. I will take you down to the kitchen of love. To the kitchen of love.
In my opinion, one of the best song names to come out in a number of years. Kitchen of Love, the name of that one. We just heard from the Red Fuze, our friends from Sweden. You know, the Tony Jones Show is predominantly local music, but the Red Fuze, they fall into the category of being a great independent band. So in Sweden, they're local music, so we'll play them here on the Tony Jones Show.
Yeah, I think that Kitchen of Love just struck all of us because we made the mistake of not eating before we came in here to do the show. So,
and there's a big hippie party going on outside of our luxurious studios here in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and it smells like barbecue in here.
A little bit. I'm not sure if it smells like barbecue per se, though.
I'm actually going to go with the fish boil, fish fry.
Smells like mesquite.
Smells like hippie.
Hey, speaking of West Warwick, and I don't know if a lot of people have heard about this yet, it's great to see our friends at the Arctic Playhouse, which, as I mentioned before, back in the day, Arctic Playhouse meant something completely different than it means now. But they actually just got a grant for $175,000 from Centerville Bank to build a theater proper right on the Arctic Strip in West Warwick. It's going to be a game changer, I think, for the West Warwick area.
Does anybody still go to the theater?
You know, the smaller theater...
I'm a serious question, not kidding around.
I've been to a few... Yeah, the smaller theater seems to do well. You know, they're regularly selling out the crowd. And even the bigger theater, the Ocean State Theater on Jefferson Boulevard, they have regular sellouts. So, yeah, I think it's almost like what local music has become, where people aren't going out every night, but once in a while, maybe once a quarter.
If something picks up enough buzz.
Yeah, folks will go out kind of as a treat. So, I mean, just an awesome. And in full disclosure, Centerville Bank sponsors a lot of stuff with what I do in the Wickford part of town. So
they're always the first ones to actually open up the pocketbook. You know, there's a lot of people that talk a good game, but when it comes to open up the pocketbook, they get Tony Jones arms. They get alligator arms. So that should be great. Now, I want to get into, as I mentioned way back at the top of the hour, I recently went through a career change where I quit my shitty job and kind of went into business for myself. Now, I may have picked a different career path if I have known about this, and there's no way to substantiate the claims. However, a lot of people are saying, and it's been reported from large news outlets, that professional protesters are being hired to go out and make a ruckus in front of Trump rallies. Now, we saw it out here. There was a fist fight. A guy got his nose blown out. Pays about $25 to $40, and you're a professional protester. You go out there, you cause as much trouble as you can, I guess, up to getting arrested, because if you have to pay $500 bail, that $25 to $40 ain't cutting it. But professional protesters, I think...
So basically mercenary for hire.
Right, yeah. I think this would have been a great career path for me. Now, I have a hard time blending into a crowd, so I may not have qualified, but the idea of professional protesters...
I'll tell you, it's coming into the fore now because Trump's campaign is calling attention to it.
Yeah.
This has been going on for a little while, though. Hasn't it been in development?
Well, there's been professional seat fillers in the past. So if a political candidate had an event with 500 seats and they only had 400 RSVPs, they would hire an additional 100 people to come in and make the place look packed for about $20-$25.
Okay, so Trump isn't fooling when he says, hey, these protesters have professionally made signs and they have no clue what they're protesting.
No, they're just there for, for instance, a guy that was hanging out with a Mexican flag who has no interest in going back to Mexico.
No, I think the best one was when one of the interviewers from one of the networks started asking the protesters, well, what do you think of Donald Trump? And actually, apparently, a couple of the protesters holding the anti-Trump signs were in favor, going to vote for Trump. As soon as they went off duty and put their sign down, I mean,
well, what you're being paid, what you do at your job.
It's a professional activity, exactly.
So if you're going to pay me for something, don't get me wrong, I'll throw my hat in the ring right now. If anyone wants to pay me to go to one of these state dinners or anything that involves food, I will be more than happy to show up and consume whatever it is you're paying me to eat.
Right.
Yeah, for $40, I'll hate anybody on command. I'll spit on white people on command. I don't care.
However, at the end of the day, when after I punch out from my heavy day at protesting, wherever that is, I'm going to still have my own mind about
Of course.
do what it is I think is
right.
Regardless of what I'm being paid to think of while I'm at work.
Well, basically, it's another branch of the acting profession.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I mean, just because you're on screen blowing people away doesn't mean you carry a gun in real life. Exactly.
People can go straight from being a paid protester to the new Arctic Theater in West Warwick. Well, our next block of music is going to be unfortunately, we're starting to run out of time here, so I'll get right back down to the music. We're going to do our block of female-fronted local music, kicking off with the now semi-defunct Colourblind. They're looking to add members to the band, so check them out. Facebook.com/Colourblind, color spelled in the British way. And they're going to be up next with Abducted right here on The Tony Jones Show.
skin was sharp and ill. Life's most forth to feed my hunger. Your screaming hurt throughout my chambers. Your pain is my eternal pleasure. Kneeling at my feet encased in black, sheets of ecstasy. Fulfill your deepest desire to submit to me. Fill, swat, dog. Return now to this steel cage and take your place with the rest of my minions. Your only purpose here is to please your queen. It's what you've always wanted in your darkest dreams. Kneeling at my feet encased in black, sheets of ecstasy. Fulfill your deepest desire to submit to me. Scum! Waste! Rats!
We're working on a set of female-fronted local music here on the Tony Jones Show. A track worthy of George Garner's Haunted Cabaret. You just heard from Sorrowseed, Divine Submission, the name of that one. Before that, we heard from Colourblind, Abducted, the name of that track. The female-fronted local music will continue between now and the top of the hour. The Big Burger Blowout, unfortunately, is pushed back. Now, I thought I was going to be starting to eat burgers today. Our friends over at Rhode Island Food Fights. This is not an event where you show up. This is an event where you get the passports and you go to the different locations and you chow down and you vote for the best local burger. It was set to start today. He's pushed that back to the 15th, so will be good for my waistline and my blood pressure.
I was
going
to
say,
I think he might have pushed this contest back while they're waiting for the results of your cholesterol tests. He doesn't want to kill a good friend. Let's put it that way.
You know, I think we talked about it before, but I'm pretty much on the straight and narrow, except for, just one day a week. I just blow it out.
Right.
And I didn't quite blow it out as bad as I normally do this week. I just stayed locally to Four Brothers. But last weekend, man, I really blew it out.
Where did you go?
I went to Casey's Classic Burger Bar. I had some other business. I've been wanting to get up there. And I had some other business in the Attleboro area, so I finally was able to stop in there. And as I mentioned to you last week, George, I ate a half a pound of meat, and then I proceeded to drive from Attleboro home. And I felt every single pothole on the way home. Not for the quality of the food. The quality of the food was fantastic. It was just the amount.
Right, the volume
of food.
The volume of meat being contained in your abdominal cavity.
And, man, they have some crazy stuff up there. They have an Elvis burger, which involves peanut butter and bananas on your burger.
Now, we know how Elvis died, right?
They have a tiki-style burger, which has some grilled pineapple on top.
I don't know. Now, when it comes... Now, Eddie, actually, this might be more Eddie's thing. Now, hamburgers, okay? Have they reached the point where it's gotten silly? Really?
I don't remember what number, but I did a show basically all about burgers. And burgers have gone from, just throwing some food down your date's neck before you go out and do something else to a gourmet meal. And yet, there are some burgers there that are just obscene with the amount of crap that they're putting on.
Well, that's what I mean. Doesn't it kind of defeat... Isn't it... Like I say, silly is the word that comes to mind.
I mean, you can go out and get the whatever steakhouse, the $5.99 that comes with the all-you-can-eat buffet, or you can go to a upscale restaurant where you're spending upwards of $70, $80 for a steak of similar size.
Right.
what do you want in that meal?
But you'll see that steak trend and you'll see the seafood trend come every, That's the good thing about being into punk rock, by the way, is that if you're just into the same thing all the time, about every 20 years you're wicked cool.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the food trends. It's seafood will be hot one season. Right now, it's the food events that are hot.
Right.
Food events are blowing it up.
Yeah.
Burgers have always been on that back burner. They've always been front and center because you got to know at least 2 kids in your life. And every time they go out anywhere, they want to go for a burger.
Yeah.
Right, but my point is, though, that isn't there a point where if you enhance a hamburger enough, it becomes
a steak.
Yeah, it becomes not a burger anymore. It mutates into some.
It's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Depending on what you put on it, I mean, my first concern, and I'm going to get a little scientific on you, is the tectonic shift. When you have so many different layers and strata of toppings on that burger, when you grab onto it, it just slides apart. And it just falls apart while you're eating.
Right.
I don't like that.
Right. That's happened to me.
Yeah. Now I think about the half-pound burger that I ate called the Challenger, and I ended up finishing, and I hate to admit this, I should lose my fat card right now, but I actually ended up finishing the meal with a fork and a knife, eating the burger with a fork and a knife.
So here we go right here.
Couldn't even get it in my mouth, and I got a big mouth.
Yeah, I mean, a hamburger is not meant to be eaten with a knife and fork. Neither is pizza. If we reach the point where we're eating hamburgers with knives and forks, that makes my point.
No.
It's changed into a different kind of food.
The only reason you should be eating pizza with a fork and a knife is if it's piping hot. However, if it's that hot, you shouldn't be freaking eating it.
Well, it also depends on where you're from. Locally, I mean, in Rhode Island, actually most of the U.S., nobody uses a fork and a knife. However, if you go to Italy, where they invented the margherita pizza, and you pick up a slice, you are an animal. You are lower than pond scum.
Okay, so
you're a slob.
You eat your cheese topping, that centerpiece, you save the crust for later, and then you do eat the crust with a fork and a knife. You eat the whole pizza with a fork and a knife.
Okay, so the country that brought us the mafia is going to tell me the do's and don'ts of pizza eating.
And you're going to like it.
Damn right. If I'm in Sicily, absolutely. But what we call pizza here in America, that's not an Italian pizza. We're talking about a whole different animal.
The thin crust pizza, cooked in either a wood-fired or coal-fired oven, is the closest you're going to get to an authentic margherita pizza.
Okay.
There are a few instances in Rhode Island, like Providence coal-fired pizza, Cobblestones in, I think it's North Kingston, East Greenwich area, and there are a few others that do that. Most of them, the utilitarian, over-flavored cardboard that you get from these delivery places,
right?
Most of them aren't going to cut it as far as good quality, proper pizza.
Right.
So, do you just want to shove food in your pie hole, or would you like an actual experience while you eat? You know, that's the first thing I ask anybody that asks me where they want to, where should I go for dinner? Do you want to eat?
Right. What's your intention? Right. What's your purpose?
If you're just looking to shove food in your pie hole, there's a whole set of restaurants.
There's a whole strip of dumps on Baldale Road you can go to.
Yeah, basically, what caliber of food will get you laid? That's what it all comes down to for us guys.
How much do you have to invest in the food for?
Right. How much are we willing to spend?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that plays a big part of it. Well, I want to get back to the music here because we only have about 10 minutes left between now and the top of the hour. The female-fronted local music continues with something about drugs right here on the Tony Jones Show.
You feel that you are the
built that convention center on the other side of the city. Right, and then they
Moving on, the name of that one, a little Malyssa Bellarosa right here on the Tony Jones Show. And we are unfortunately just about out of time. Before that, you heard from Bad Movies, Something About Drugs. Now, I mentioned it while we were listening to Malyssa Bellarosa, but I have the physical copy of that Bad Movies CD, and I can listen to it 3 times between my house and the studio. That is the sign of an awesome punk release.
Yep, and we also always have time for Malyssa Bellarosa.
I don't know if you remember years ago, George, but we put out a release as the Goners that was 15 minutes long.
I remember that, and I also remember at least one of our fans telling us that they listen to nothing else in the transit from Providence to Boston and back. So I'm thinking that he listened. That poor son of a bitch listened to that CD. I like the idea that people are that much addicted to something I've done, though.
Probably after that ride, he threw the CD out the window, though. He couldn't listen to it again.
and backed over it.
Well, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, if you're catching us live, we'll be at Firehouse 13 tonight. Don't forget that this Tuesday is the Motif Music Awards at the Met, 6:30. DJ Psycho Eddie, are you going?
Yes.
So
I'm going to be in attendance.
I may be, not that there's any frickin' chance that we could possibly win, but I have a water fire event, so I may be a little bit late. So on the 0.5% that Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 win an award, if you could accept for us if I'm not there yet.
At Motif.
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to. I will wear my tallest shoes and try to fake
Yeah, just pretend you're me. Just slap on a wig.
Yes, I will be drinking the Gansett heavily so that I can understand the confusion mistaken
Now,
for you.
what I don't want you to do is open a bar tab in my name. I just want you to pick up the award in my name.
Now, just by the by,
The award with your name on it. Look, that tab and walking quickly.
and just by the by, what exactly will you be doing at Waterfire?
Well, actually, on Tuesday, they'll be announcing the lineup for this upcoming year's Waterfire.
Okay.
So getting that all rolling. It's going to be another big year in Providence, hopefully. You know, we can only hope that Providence doesn't go bankrupt between now and then. But
Well, it doesn't mean we can't still participate.
or if it gets to that point, the water fire will just be the blighted properties that people have lit on fire and thrown in the water.
It'll turn into a devil's night of sorts. Just let's just torch the downtown skyscrapers.
All right, we got to get out of here. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI, TonyJones.org and RIFreeRadio.org. Edward, George, thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
We're going to leave you with a little bit from Grand Evolution. This track is Goodbye. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Choose, but it has to be only one life.